That's right. Back at it again. Full custom hot dog here doing a movie review. That's right. We're going to be talking about the new movie Z, an exclusive to Shudder. And I feel like if you have all these streaming services, you gotta try to watch the exclusives. I've always been historically terrible at it. So if you've got some recommendations, throw them at me, as I do not always watch them. I decided to change that up this time. I had heard things about Z. Number one, mysterious title. It's only a letter. Number two, most people, if you haven't heard about this, they'll describe this movie as a drop dead Fred. And that's usually enough to sort of turn me off from it, just because you get kind of bored in the whole imaginary friend genre, I feel like. Every movie feels like it's the same. It's, is the killer real? Is it not? Is anything real? Were they faking it? Is it a monster? Who knows? And this movie does kind of do that, but it had some genuine scares. I may get into some spoiler territory, but I'll let you know. I try normally not to, but there's some things that sort of irk me with this film, not necessarily in a bad way. So this is directed by Brandon Christensen, who I never heard of, who had previously directed a film called Stillborn, which I don't think I've seen because the cover art is terrible for it. It looks bad. But I'm curious to see it now, though, because I did like Z enough. This is very well executed. I felt like Brandon Christensen did write and direct this. We've also got Keegan Connor Tracy in this, who is quite a delight. You might know her from things. She looked very familiar to me. The only thing I really knew her from was Final Destination 2. She was in White Noise, which I can't even remember if I've seen, and she's been frequently in the show The Magicians, and also it looks like in a few episodes of Supernatural. She looks very familiar, though, and I feel like maybe I just seen Final Destination 2 so many times. But anyway, she's playing the head of the family named Elizabeth. Her and her husband have a son named Joshua, who is having an imaginary friend named, you guessed it, Z. Z, of course, makes the kid into a total dick, and the kid is frequently acting up, at which point everyone's like, what do we do? This kid's kind of a chode. So they try to get him some help. They go to see the family psych, and things start to unravel themselves at certain things that I found genuinely creepy. I was very surprised. It's kind of rare. If you belong in a lot of horror movie Facebook groups, people are always talking about how movies never scare them anymore. Oh, I don't find many horror movies scary. And I always feel like, well, that's probably because you're not 17 anymore. You're not 14. You're not a child. You're not a baby watching these. You're probably not going to get scared. You're probably going to watch them with the lights on. I don't know. It's very rare, I feel like, for these days to horror movies be very effective. But, we do get some of that, I think, on occasion. This one, though, did have some general creeps. Very surprised. So the plot revolves around her dealing with the son Z. And without getting spoilery, Z, she starts to experience Z as well. And that's where the movie got me. Now, it doesn't, again, no spoilers, but it doesn't quite give a good enough explanation for Z. Frequently when I talk about horror movies and their sequels and their monsters, I usually feel like the first film is a pass. You can do whatever you want in that first film. However, if you do a sequel, you need to explain that monster. And I feel like my problem with this movie is that because of the premise that it's an imaginary friend and there does seem to be some power there, I feel like I need something that's a little bit more than here's what it is. I need a little bit more backstory. Maybe that's me being nitpicky. However, it doesn't detract from my overall score. I did see some reviews where someone said it's not necessary to talk about the origins of the monster. It seemed like they were saying that because the meanings behind that were so much deeper. And I kind of didn't pick up on a lot of the metaphor and the symbolism until the second half of the film, where it gets kind of sad. It gets depressing. The mom sort of becomes a victim to whatever this is. and in a way it feels very real. It's very much symbolic of like domestic violence, things like that, and that it puts together a very creepy vibe. It's effective. Like I said, this movie was very, very well directed, so definitely big ups to Brandon Christensen. Curious to know what you're going to do in the future. If you have seen Stillborn, let me know in the comments. Should I watch it? And is it streaming anywhere that I already can watch it? I'd like to check that out. This is very well done, though. Very solid film. I can give this a recommend, especially obviously if you have Shudder. Why not? Right? It's on there. There's another one called Blood Quantum that I want to see. So I've been hearing nothing but good things about both of these. I haven't heard anyone outright hate those, but yeah, I like this much more than I expected. I immediately recommended it to some family who loved it. So it was great. I love movies that'll freak them out, so that's always nice. But I'm gonna get into a little bit of spoilers. So if you don't want this to be ruined for you, you can, I don't know, stop the video. So what really irks me with this movie, and this is a nitpicky complaint, but I also feel like it's not something that gets talked about. They show Z. Z's a long naked man, a long naked old man. And what I hate about that is I can't imagine any child being like, oh, yo, my imaginary friend's this long naked old dude. This is great. I love playing games with you, weird long naked old man. This is so fun. Oh man, shucks, I wish my family could see you. And if you're a little girl and seeing a long naked old man, I mean, okay, so they do sort of hint at Elizabeth's trauma. There's a lot of talk about her trauma, or hints at it anyway, excuse me. So I would assume most of that trauma came from hanging out with a crazy naked old dude. I don't see that being fun. Maybe I'm closed-minded. It's 2020. Who am I to judge? But anyways, that's kind of the only thing I really wanted to say, and I had to get that off my chest, was gross, dude. And that part, by the way, I don't want to even ruin parts, because if you're watching, then I don't want you to expect it. So there were parts with Z that genuinely got me. Gross. But again, great job, Brandon Christensen. I'm curious to see what you do next. Good luck. And anyways, thank you all for watching Full Custom Hot Dog. That's me. I'm Full Custom Hot Dog. You can follow me on Twitter. It's Full Custom Hot Dog without the last O, because that is just too long for Twitter. And until next time.